Hello and welcome to Politics Tonight, where we dig and go beyond the headlines for informed analysis of major political stories in Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. With about 4 days to the conduct of the 2023 general election, preparations and anticipation are in top gear regarding conduct of the polls. President Muhammadu Buhari addresses Nigerians again, calls on citizens to vote for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC in Saturday's elections. On the interview segments today, we will examine the 2023 elections with a political and development economist, Ayobami Oyalowo, as our guest. Welcome to Politics Tonight. Stay with us. We will be right back. Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians to vote for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC as Nigeria's next president in Saturday's elections. In a special video message issued in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, President Buhari described Tinubu as reliable, trustworthy, and a true believer in Nigeria. The president said he is aware of the hardship being faced by citizens over the Naira swap policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. He urged Nigerians to exercise more patience and assured them that the federal government is making efforts to ease the hardship.
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. He is reliable and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari speaking there. The Controller General of Immigrations, Issa Idris, has called on personnel of the service, especially those in critical areas, to ensure that non-Nigerians do not vote in the coming elections. Idris says field operatives of the service should work with other security and law enforcement agencies to deliver a credible election. The remark was made during declaration of 64 newly promoted officers of the service.
You are assuming your duties at a fairly dynamic time when our country is bracing off for the 2023 election. As a service that is non-partisan, I expect you to be more patriotic and vigilant. While collaborating with sister agencies and providing security, We must continue to ensure that non-Nigerians are not allowed to participate in the process.
We're looking forward to higher postings. We're looking forward to, as a controller, you're going to be more responsible. Like the Controller General said during his speech, he expects us to brace up, to be more conscious of our environment, to be more responsible, to be more responsive, and as you're most likely to head a state command. And in that situation, you are in charge. You are the Controller General of Immigration in that state. So there are no stories. No, it's not like the Deputy Controller General said. You don't become a controller and then you come to work by 10 o'clock. It's not possible anymore.
The senator representing Anambra Central, Uche Ekwunife, has decried rising insecurity in the southeast and sought collaboration with the security agencies to end the menace. The senator, who is seeking re-election on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, challenged the people to assist security operatives with relevant information to tackle crime. Senator Ekwunife seized the platform to clear the air about harboring grudges against the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi.
As citizens, we also have our civic responsibility. See something, say something. We have less than 500 professional policemen in the whole country. Less than 500. And they cannot be everywhere at the same time. It behoves on us, the citizens, to report the companies around us, the security outfit. And also, it goes back to what I'm talking about, the local government autonomy. Because the local government will be able to partner with the President Generals and the Igwes, traditional rulers, in different locations to tighten up their communities. We have to be proactive when it comes to security. Let people know that the government has measures in place to catch them and to, apprehend them.
It is what you think that is affecting you that will affect you. This election will hold, insecurity or no insecurity. The reason is the masses have decided that they're going to come out and vote. Who are those causing insecurity? Is it not the masses? When we all collaborate to support the law enforcement agencies, support INEC, support all the organizations responsible for making free and fair election will hold. But when we say we don't want an election, we cause insecurity. And because we want the election to hold for a better Nigeria, because we all hope that after this election, Nigeria will be better.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, it will be time to speak with our guest of the day, a political and development economist, Ayobami Oyalowo, on matters relating to the coming elections. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Politics Tonight, digging beyond the headlines. And now to our interview with the guest of the day. I am now joined by a political and development economist. He's also a member of the Public Affairs Committee of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, Ayobami Oyalowo, on matters relating to the coming elections. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening to you. You're a member of the APC Campaign Council. How will you assess the campaign so far?
Well, we have done our best to reach out to Nigerians. We have done our best to pass the message of hope, renewed hope, by our presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, to Nigerians. And we believe that Nigerians have listened. We also believe Nigerians have weighed all the candidates in terms of their achievements, their plans, their manifesto, and their antecedents. And we also believe that most Nigerians have come to the realization and to the conclusion that, yes, we have a lot of contestants, but above all, we have one contestant that stands shoulder above every other contestant. That is the man Jagaban of Bogu, Bola Tinubu. So we are confident. We are going to this election in the next 4 days or 5 days now with renewed vigor, with hope that we will not only win, we will win with a clear margin. And we've been seeing all manner of jokes about run and runoffs. We are not even perturbed by that. We are sure that there will be no need for second ballot. We know we will win at the first election, at the first ballot. And by the grace of God, Nigerians will have renewed hope. And we will begin to build on those plans that we have highlighted and earmarked for Nigerians so that the unmitigated sufferings can be mitigated and Nigerians can begin to smile again. This particular outgoing government has done very well in terms of infrastructure. But beyond the infrastructure, we also want to go into the other areas where Nigerians can now begin to say, yes, after infrastructure, the next thing that should come naturally should be prosperity to the people. And that is what we are bringing to Nigerians.
Well said. But looking at the way the campaigns have been conducted, would you say candidates have been focused on issue-based campaigns?
Well, for us, we know that there are two kinds of campaigns you can run as a candidate. You run both the rally, which is to mobilize people, to excite and energize the base. But we also know that we have other ways of reaching out to people where you can engage stakeholders, rub shoulders and rub minds together and reach some very serious conclusion. That is why if you notice our campaign was not just focused on the rallies, we are also focused on focus groups, specific focus groups. We were the only one that piloted the idea of the town hall system. And you will see how well those town halls went. We were able to segment each of them. We met with the miners, with the organized private sectors. We met with the farmers. We met with religious leaders. We met with women leaders. We met with young people. We met with the tech industries. We met with every segment of the Nigerian economy and the segment on all segments of Nigerian social life. So that way we are able to reach out to everybody. So for us, the issues were discussed in those focus groups where you can tell them, look, this is my vision for this particular segment of the economy or the society. And you're able to get questions, answers, ideas, generating ideas with people. So
All right. Well, on the program tonight, we're speaking with Mr. Ayobami Oyalowo. He is a political and development economist. He's also a member of the Public Affairs Committee of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. We've been discussing so many issues and matters relating to the coming elections. Okay, I would like you to go on with your analysis, Mr. Oyalowo.
Okay, I thought maybe I was cut off by internet. That's why you were talking, so no. I had to stop. So like I was saying, our campaign was designed in such a way that The rallies were to energize the base, while we had different and various focus groups that we engaged with in what you call town hall meetings. And those town hall meetings were specific, like I said. We met with all the segment of Nigerian society and business areas. We met with the organized private sectors, we met with the farmers, we met with the miners, we met with young people, we met with the tech people, we met with everybody. In those focus groups, we were able to highlight issues, we were able to highlight our plans for policies that will develop and energize those areas. So our campaign was designed that way. While the rally was energizing the base, excite the people, the town hall was strictly to rub minds with people in specific or focus groups, either in the economic sector or social sector. That way, we were able to harmonize the campaign to reach out to people to make it issue-based campaign where we can develop policies and people can have their own input into those policy development, and then we can begin to build from there. And as soon as the government is elected and sworn in on the right day, it will hit the ground running.
All right then, so why has there been so much bad blood and name-calling during these campaigns?
Well, every campaign is unique. This particular campaign had a new set of people coming in, and then most of them were basically very young. This is most likely the first time they will be participating in an election, and they actually have not been able to understand what election politics and democracy means. For many of them, it's about name calling, it's about forcing. In fact, I was reading some people online, some of them like, because my parents will not vote who I want to vote, I will not give them the allowance I used to give them. Some we will hide their PVC, all manner of things we have been saying online. So it's basically young people who think democracy is about how to force their will on others. And that is why we've had a lot of name calling, a lot of insult, a lot of abuses, a lot of memes. And I think social media contributed to this. While social media is a beautiful thing, it also can be abused because it's not regulated. Somebody just wakes up, make up some memes. In some of them, even correct videos can be tuned in the way they want it, pictures, and then abuse people, curse people. So you can't stop it except there is a rule guiding the application of social media. And unfortunately, even the traditional media joined the fray. A particular TV, I don't know whether I should call their name, this is the second time they will be fined for this kind of action, encouraging fake news and name calling on their platform. So it is about people not being able to control their emotions, not being able to understand that democracy is always the will of the people. And the will of the people means I have my will, you have your will. If I have the majority, my will goes. You can always have your say, but the majority will have their way. But for this minority, they think they can make so much noise, they can bamboozle people, they can bully and insult people, and then that will give them the result. But like Governor Nasir El-Rufai said, we will take the insult, but we will go for the vote, because eventually INEC is not going to count the amount of insult, they will count the number of votes.
All right, so let's talk about you for a minute. What are those qualities and programs that endeared you to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu so much that you have chosen to work for him?
Like I wrote a little bit of thesis online about 2 days ago about him. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come to my consciousness since I was an undergraduate in the university. I participated in the 1993 election as a university undergraduate. And then I remember how it ended when the winner was denied, and then the NADECO was formed. And then Asiwaju was a younger man then. He was one of the young men who were bright, who were all over the place. And the man caught my attention. What kind of a man is this guy? I didn't even know much about him then. But he caught my attention with the way he took it very seriously, and he believed that democracy must thrive. So from that moment, I had a mark on him. I was watching him. Then he became governor. And yes, there are times where maybe I didn't agree with some of the things that he did as a governor. He's human. But over the years, I've come to see a leader in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's a visionary. It doesn't matter whether you agree with him or you disagree with him. One thing about the man is he has a focus, he has a vision. And like Professor Pat Utomi said about him, everything you are seeing in Lagos today was planned. It wasn't by mistake. Asiwaju planned everything that you are seeing today. So this is a man who can envision something over a long period. And today what Nigeria needs is a leader that has vision. We are not looking for a boxer. We don't want our leader to be able to run marathon. We want our leader to be able to think, to be able to envision, and be able to put in program that even beyond his stay in office, the thing will continue to run. Look at what he has done for Lagos State. He's no longer the governor today, but the plans he put in place, we are seeing the fruit of it today. I was in Lagos before he became governor, and I know what Lagos was like. And today we are seeing Lagos is even suffering because of the success of Asiwaju, because the failure of other states is the failure of, is the punishment that is created on Lagos. People keep trooping in until the point that a state with the smallest landmass now has the largest population in Nigeria. So, and it is because he has grown that state from just another state in Nigeria to a state that has the fourth largest economy in Africa. He has grown that state from a jungle and a slum of a state to a mega city today that you can begin to plan. And as I speak to you, the American embassy is being built on the land of Lagos, where he reclaimed what used to be the Atlantic Ocean. Today, that will be the biggest American embassy in the history of America since they've been having embassies outside their shores. So Asiwaju is a visionary. And that being a visionary means it's somebody who can see things even when you are not seeing it. And Nigeria needs a man today who can see beyond what is going on today. So Asiwaju is someone I support because I believe Nigeria needs a man that can envision and put the plan in place. And like the Bible says, because I'm also a Christian, it says, write the vision, make it plain upon the table, that it may run whosoever read in the book of Habakkuk. So Asiwaju can write down the vision. He can make it plain. People can think and then work and ensure that that plan and that vision is actualized over time. And I'm sure you remember his immediate successor in the government house of Lagos State, His Excellency Babatunde Fashola, is called the actualizer. Many people don't know why that name is. It is because he began to actualize the vision that Asiwaju has put in place. So that is the man that I support. That is the man that I hope in the next 5 days will be elected the president of Nigeria, so that Nigeria can benefit from his wealth of experience, from his vision, and from his pragmatism.
Wow, because you mentioned Lagos, and just like you did, many other APC members also point to Asiwaju Tinubu's Lagos record. But many critics argue that Nigeria is a much bigger and complex stage than Lagos. How will you respond to this?
Well, this is always the reality. If you are going to be made the MD of the bank, you have to demonstrate how you run your department or your branch before you can now be considered for the MD. So you cannot rate him based on what he hasn't done. But what you have to look at is how well did he run Lagos. Lagos is the most Nigerian state in Nigeria today. Lagos is the place where you will call a proper cosmopolitan city, where you have all manner of diverse people. Everybody that you can find, any tribe, any tongue you can find in Nigeria, you will find in Lagos. And that's why you run a system of government where you have Deltans, you have Igbos, you have Hausas, you have Yorubas from other states in his cabinet. So that is a man who knows how to play around the diverse and the complex. So if you say Nigeria is diverse and complex, I totally agree. But I'm saying it is from the microscopy that you begin to go to the gigantic. So the man has been able to manage the small. And like the Bible says, because I'm a Christian, I always say that, the Bible says, if you are unfaithful in little, who will give to you a bigger one? So he has done well in the one he was given. You can't appoint a man empty because you think, oh, when he did his branch, he did excellently well, but we don't know if he can run the bank. But if he has done very well in his department, then it is automatic that you give him the opportunity to bring his wealth of experience as a departmental, a branch, or a unit head to be able to run the whole, the bigger branch. So since he has done so well, and today Lagos is a state that you can use as an example anywhere of focus, of vision, of planning, and of good governance, then I think Asiwaju deserves a mention when it comes to running Nigeria. I mean, of all the people who have run Nigeria before him, who among them have the preparedness that he has? Who has ever had the vision? Asiwaju is a man that has been prepared forever to run Nigeria. He's a man who has prepared his vision. He's a man who knows exactly what it takes to run Nigeria. So I don't see it as a problem because Nigeria is bigger than Lagos. I agree totally. But I see Asiwaju as a man who has been prepared for years, for weeks, for months, and for almost all his life to get to this point that we are today. So bringing him to run Nigeria is a plus for Nigeria because unlike many accidental leaders we've had in the past, for the first time, we're going to have a president who actually is prepared to be the president.
In that regard, are you convinced that your candidate has got what it takes to win this presidential race?
I said he's a man that has been prepared forever. One of the biggest plus for Asiwaju is detribalization. He's a detribalized Nigerian. He's a man who has extended his hand, who has what you call the handshake across the Niger. Asiwaju is the man today. If you go to Sokoto, the edge of Sokoto, which is almost in another country, his name is there. If you go to Gambo, if you go to anywhere in Bordeaux, his name is mentioned. If you go to anywhere in the South, his name is mentioned. So Asiwaju is a man who has built. I mean, I was telling a friend recently, I said, Asiwaju is the closest to MKO Abiola that we've had. And in that regard, what I mean by that is this man who his kindness, his goodness of heart, his philanthropy has touched the furthest part of Nigeria. He has built relationship. And today you can see how that relationship is working for him. I just mentioned Sokoto and it came to my mind that I have our elder brother there, His Excellency Senator Wamako, the former governor of Sokoto State. He is mobilizing massively for him in Sokoto. Why? Because Asiwaju is that man. I'm sure you know where the title, the Jagaban of Bogu came from. The Emir of Bogu that gave him that title, if he tells you the story of how they are playing together, you will understand. And then I'm sure you have listened to some of our lawmakers, even from the north. They will tell you that today we are where we are today because of Asiwaju. So yes, Asiwaju has, like they say in the Yoruba, he has poured water in the front, so he can step on wet ground. He has done enough for everyone across the country to be named as a Nigerian who is truly a Nigerian. So Asiwaju has all it takes. He has the wherewithal, he has the intellectual capacity, he has the connection, he has the friendship, he has the goodwill to be able to win this election. And I can assure you, by the grace of God, he will win this election without equivocation.
All right. Mr. Oyalowo, let's also talk about young people and this race. How much impact will the vote of young people make this time around?
Yeah, many people still forget that the APC has the most powerful youth wing in Nigeria. Let me tell you a story. When the APC was going to be merging, going to become APC, we had the CPC and the AC, and then other parties joined. Can I tell you the truth? We already had the APYF. They merged even before the main party. So our youth wing is one of the strongest, most vibrant youth wing in Nigeria. Maybe they may not be, they are not the ones abusing people online, so you may not think they are there because they don't go around harassing and attacking everybody they can find online. But I can assure you, without equivocation, our APC young wing is very strong. And we will get massive vote of young people. I was somewhere today, I went to eat and I met a young man. His name, I forgot his name, from Delta State. He was speaking perfect Chinese. I think the language is not Chinese. I don't know what they call Chinese language again. He was speaking to some Chinese men and I'm like, you know this language? He said, yeah, he studied it and now he works as a translator. A young man, very handsome young man. And we had a discussion and I asked him, who are you going to vote for? He said, it's Asiwaju now. I said, how come? He said, that man is a great man. And this is a young man who is not even a political person. He's just a translator working with the Chinese people who speaks their language. And if you go around, go to young people in schools, in normal places, not the ones abusing everybody online, proper young people who are well raised and well grown. You will see them telling you, and they know what Asiwaju has done. I'm sure you remember he's the one who said what they call the one-day governor in Lagos State. We've had the testimony of many of these young people whose life has become better today because of the impact of Asiwaju in their life. I'm sure you know the story of the twins. I can't remember their name now, that were conjoined, that Asiwaju had to pay for their separation. I know those are young people too. They are now in their young age. So a lot of young people whose life has been touched. Under his watch, he made sure that every child in Lagos public school whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Ijo, anything you are, they paid their fees. All those young people have grown up today. They are now in their 20s, 30s. I can assure you, they are not noisy, they are not making noise. They will all vote for the man whose impact. I saw one of their stories. He said he will not be where he is today because his parents could not have afforded the money to pay for his WAEC fee. But Asiwaju paid for it because he paid for every child in secondary school. And that is why today he made it. As at that time, the guy was talking, he was already doing well. He has gone through university. He's now well established. So we have a lot of young people who will tell you that their life is where it is today because of the impact of Asiwaju. So for the young people, Asiwaju will get their vote. But beyond getting their vote, I can also tell you one thing about Asiwaju. He's a man who runs a system that incorporates brains. And I can assure Nigerian youth, a lot of them will find themselves in government under Asiwaju because he's a man who wants to put for the future. So the youth of Nigeria has a great chance under Asiwaju to be groomed, to be prepared for future governance, for future roles in government. I remember today the governor of Lagos State, he started as an SC under Asiwaju before he became a commissioner. Then he was a young man in his 30s. Today in his 50s, he's governing Lagos State. That is what Asiwaju can do. He's a man who can bring young people into governance, teach them, train them, prepare them. Today, our youth leader in the APC, Adayo Israel, is one of the young mentees of Asiwaju. Asiwaju mentored him until he went to school, came back, and today we see how brilliant that young man is. So that is what Asiwaju can do, and that is what he's still going to do. Our young people have a great opportunity under the presidency and leadership of our leader, Asiwaju Bola.
All right, let's come to the Northwest, where people have called the battleground in the 2023 presidential election. Do you agree with that?
Northwest?
Yes.
How can Northwest be a battleground? They say they just
now,
like
also,
to make,
before you go on, Mr. Oyalowo, before you go on, how can you hold on? How strong is your candidate in the Northwest, and what are the dynamics that will play out in the Northwest?
The dynamics are very simple. You see, the claim there is that because of our other brother there, Rabbi Musa Kwankwaso, who is from the Northwest. But I can assure you, Kaduna, Jigawa, even Kano will get good vote from Kano State. You can see how the rally went. Bauchi, people have said they will vote whatever the president said they should vote. Even the governor himself said it. So there's no fear about the Northwest. We're going to get good vote from the Northwest. We're going to completely win the Northeast. Maybe only Adamawa will have maybe 50-50 because the PDP candidate is from there. But nobody doubt the fact that the Northwest will give Asiwaju the same kind of vote that they have given to our outgoing president, President Muhammadu Buhari, because the APC has been able to ingrain itself as a party in the heart of our people in the Northwest. And by birth, I'm from the Northwest. I was born in Kano, so I can tell you that we Kanawas were going to give Asiwaju a lot of votes come February 25th, which is just about 4 or 5 days away.
I know you have spoken a little bit about the APC youth wing, but as a young man, are you convinced that the APC is doing enough to galvanize the support of young people in this election?
Well, I was just telling you about our youth leader. I don't know whether you have been following his activity. This young man has traversed every state, every region in Nigeria. So how much galvanization do we need again when the youth leader himself has been the leader of the young people in all these places? Adayo Israel is a young man that has amazed me by the way he has done it. And also, while he's doing it, we have the City Boy movement. We also have Tinubu and his friends leading all over the young people, moving from state to state, all of them coordinated by my very good friend, His Excellency Yahya Bello, the governor of Kogi State. So our young people have been sufficiently galvanized and mobilized. Maybe because they have been very peaceful. That's why you're unlike some other young people who just thought politics started in 2015, who think they must insult and abuse everybody. But just wait for the result of the election on Saturday. You will understand that our young people are ready and they have their PVCs and they will vote. And they will vote for Asiwaju Bola and all APC candidates across the board.
Having said that, the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, is doing very well with the young people, milking their anger and desire for change. Where does the APC stand with regards to this very critical segment of the voting public?
I just told you now that our young people are not noise-making young people. The fact that somebody has been able to gather angry people around is a testament to who he is. We are not opportunists trying to amass anger. Well, you are harvesting anger of young people who say they're angry at the police and SARS, and then you quickly came. But when your state was having and conducting a review of SARS activity, this same man that you mentioned, whose name I'm not going to mention, rushed to the court, got an injunction so that he will not be invited. Because under his leadership, the worst SARS crime was committed. Over 150 people were not just killed, they were dumped in a river called Esu River, the Akusu massacre by SARS in 2012 or 13. So unfortunately, we have another critical young set of people who are uncritical in their mind. They don't criticize, they don't question things. If they question things, if they think they are angry, their anger should be directed at the man, not to be with him. Because under his watch, the worst SARS crime was committed in Nigeria. We are not worried about such critical young people such uncritical young people, because you must, I am leaving the young side now to the old side, because in the next a few weeks now, I'll be inviting you to come and cover my 50th birthday, so I'm not a young one like that. However, we will, our young people are the ones we are banking on, are the critical young people, the one who can think from their heart, the one who have been able to use that. You don't just go to school and earn certificate. You must also have the ability for critical thinking. If somebody come and say, "Oh, I will do this for you," what you first ask yourself is, have you done it for yourself? A man who said, "I will do consumption to production," and then I ask myself a honest question. You spent 30 years importing goods from abroad. You have not built one single plant to produce one of those things in Nigeria. So if you cannot do it for yourself, how can you do it for Nigeria? Nigerians should ask questions. Consultant to production, how? You have not been able to produce one item of the tomato ketchup you have been importing for 30 years, but you want to come and produce in Nigeria. Why don't people think? Why don't we ask questions? If a man comes to me today and say, I will give you good clothes, I will first of all look at what he's wearing. But if the man is wearing rags and tattered clothes and then he wants to give me a designer dress, then I need to run away. So if a man promises you, I will do this, ask yourself, have you done it before? How did you do it? As Asiwaju that we are saying, that's why we keep using Lagos as an example, as a yardstick. Whatever we say Asiwaju will do for Nigeria, he's done it on the macro level of Lagos State. A man who said he will change construction to production, he has not been able to produce one industry, not as a governor, not as a businessman. So how will he make Nigeria a production hub if he cannot do it for himself? So we don't base our own interest in lies and opportunistic nihilism. We base whatever we are going to do on reality, on pragmatism. So like our APC young people and the young people who are on the side of Asiwaju are the young people who can use their mind, who can criticize issues, who can think, who can assimilate, and who can make up their mind, not the herd mentality, oh, we must all do this because we're all doing it. No, why are we doing it? If there's no reason for me to do it, then there's no point for me to do it.
All right, quickly before we move on to some of the issues, do you see the APC maintaining its dominance in places like Lagos and Ogun State?
That question is very fun because I don't see any problem with it. They imported overnight voters to Lagos from somewhere. All of them punched their card in their state before because somebody told them Nigeria was a zoo, and then they all punched their card. So they all came to Lagos and then registered. That was what the INEC man was trying to explain. But instead of people to listen, they were insulting the man. You cannot do double registration. If you do double registration, you will not be able to vote. So we are not scared of the noise. Lagos is Asiwaju's Lagos. And I assure you in the next few hours, you will see that Lagos belongs to Asiwaju. Because tomorrow, in the next few hours, the mega rally, the final rally is happening in Lagos. Then you will know why we say Lagos is a call for show. When Asiwaju march in triumphantly to his home state, everybody will understand that There's a Yoruba adage that said small masquerade will do anything they want to do and jump and do everything. But when the big masquerade comes in, they all sit on one side to watch the real show. Then tomorrow you will see the real show when Asiwaju enters Lagos.
All right. Now, Governor El-Rufai has raised an alarm that the crisis triggered by the old Naira swap was the handiwork of fifth columnist in Aso Rock, intent on seeing the APC lose power. Where do you stand on this matter? And is what going on going on enough to make APC lose power at the center?
No. You see, initially, that was the suspicion, that was the fear we all had. And on a serious note, I completely stand with my elder brother, Governor Nasir El-Rufai. I believe he must have been properly informed. He's a governor, so he has access to information I don't have. So whatever allegations he puts out there, I'm sure he knows exactly what he was talking about. However, we have seen a change. Yesterday, our governors had a sit down with the national chairman of the party, and an agreement was reached, and the federal government has been advised to listen to the Supreme Court, which gave some rulings. And I think we have 2 more days, that's on 22nd, for the Supreme Court to hear the issue. So I believe that whatever was contrived eventually backfired. Let me give you an example. The PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar, had been going around saying, yes, they must not extend the Naira people, they should do it, it's the right thing. But when the northerners that he thought he was going to lie to, you are smarter than people give my brothers in the north credit for, because I'm one of them. Like I told you, I'm a Kanawa by birth. He thought he could outsmart us from his base in Dubai. But our brothers there, led by Rarara, started a song called Kodepudi Koperi Jagaban Zami. That whether there is money, whether they hide the money or they didn't hide the money, we are going to vote for Jagaban. So when they realized that it has boomerang on their faces, now Atiku came yesterday to start singing a new song. Oh, Nigerians are suffering about the cash crunch. The CBI has to do something. That is a clear vote face. That is a man that is double-faced. That is a man, the Bible says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So that is who Atiku is. He came and he said, no, then don't extend the date. Let people die. And suddenly when he realized that the people that were dying say, we are not going to die, we are going to vote, and we will not vote for wicked people like you, he has changed his tune. So the same thing with Peter Obi, suddenly changed his tune. Only Asiwaju stood with the people, despite the fact that he may be clashing with the position of somebody who is his own leader today as a president. Despite that, he stood with the people. So Nigerians have now seen that Asiwaju is with the masses, and the masses have said, we will vote for the man who stood with us in our time of pain and need. Therefore, no matter what they contrive, I don't know who are the people, and I don't want to get involved in individuals because I'm not there, I wasn't there, and I don't know anything about that. However, the little I know is that whoever planned this, I don't know who they are, but I try to know that Emefiele is the head of this wicked policy that has put people into penury. They have seen that their plan is no longer working. And I keep just saying this, Emefiele should have been fired from the day he tried to contest for the primaries of the APC. That was a mistake that this government made. You shouldn't allow such a man to hold such sensitive position. However, since they have kept him there, well, I believe after the election, we will come back to visit this issue because I'm a Yoruba man too, as I'm also a Hausa man and as a Christian. The Bible says, Yoruba says, let's deal with the problem, the bigger problem, and we'll come back to the smaller problem of Emefiele when the time is right.
All right. One of your former colleagues in the APC Presidential Council, Najatu Mohammed, described Asiwaju Tinubu as unfit for the exalted office of president. How would you describe the Tinubu that you've seen at close quarters?
My sister, when you see a woman who run around you for several months, praising you, and then when she submitted a fat budget and it was rejected, and suddenly you are a devil, you should fear such people. I was privileged to meet Asiwaju. I forgot the date. I wish I had the date here. Well, that is on one-on-one. And when they say it's unfit, I wonder how fit they themselves are. This was a man that you will see him in Benin this morning. In the afternoon, he's in Kebbi. By night, he's having another meeting in Abuja. Tomorrow morning, he's in Ibadan. Before you look right, you will see that He's already in Baramatu Kingdom. Before you say, what is wrong with this man? He's in Katsina. I don't know how else can a man be fit. I don't know if a sick man can put his body through so much pressure like Asiwaju has done during this campaign. He has been everywhere under circumstances that I'm younger than him, will not even try, because I've done some of these travels. And when I come back, there's a Yoruba word that says, the way my body will do me, I would not even want to go anywhere the next day. But not this man. I understand that by 5 a.m. he's already awake, telling everybody, let's get ready. Don't want to get there late. That is the man that Asiwaju is. I met him in person, and you will not believe it. I've never met him before, apart from informal meetings. And then the moment I came to him, as I was shaking him, he looked at me, this was the guy on TV. I said, yes, I'm the guy on TV. So that is who Asiwaju is. And they said he doesn't know what he's doing. I wonder if they themselves who are claiming this know what they are doing. Asiwaju is brilliant in his own ways, he's smart, he's old. Yes, he's 70. Yes, that is old. But he is not senile, he's not weak, he can do the job. Joe Biden is older than him by about 10 years or thereabout. If Americans are not talking about ageism, why is Nigeria worried about ageism? And then when we look at all the contestants, the Peter Obi they're talking about is 61 or 62. Atiku is even older at 78 or whatever. And I can see it at times they hold him around. And maybe many people don't understand. Some of the best presidents America has had, from Roosevelt, all of them, most of them were battling some things in their life. So it is not his physical energy enough that we need. We need more of his mental energy. And like I told you, we'll be surrounded by young people, smart young people that he will groom, so that by the time he's no longer around to run the office, a lot of Nigerians, you see, what we've had in Nigeria over years is that we've not had system to prepare people for governance. We've had too many accidental leaders who don't know what they are coming to do in power. When Asiwaju become president, you will see the difference. A lot of grooming will take place so that by the time we begin to move forward in Nigeria, we'll have a proper way of preparing Nigerians. We'll have a grooming pattern for leaders so that people don't come into office by accident. So Asiwaju is fit as a fiddle, he's mentally alert, he knows what he's doing. And when I met him, I was proud that the man recognized me without anybody pointing who I am to him, because we've not met before. And he was like, that is the guy on TV. When I was in London, I said, yes, I was the guy on TV when you were in London.
All right.
And there. So I don't see any problem with the man at all.
So let's also talk about the relationship between Tinubu and President Buhari. How cordial is the relationship between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the president?
Well, while I don't like speculation, but what I can say is that the president did something remarkable yesterday. He wrote a letter, and he didn't stop at that. He followed up with a video broadcast asking people to vote for Asiwaju. What else do we need? Yes, they may not agree in everything because I don't know how their relationship works. I am not with them in their room, but I know they've been meeting regularly, and some information that Asiwaju needs, he has been able to get. And I understand he has been able to negotiate some things with the president, especially during this Naira crisis. And some of his ideas have been implemented, while some maybe are still waiting to be implemented. And if the president can now go as far as making a broadcast and writing a letter and urging people to vote for the man, I don't think there is a problem in that. So people can always speculate. It is part of humanity. It's part of our life as human beings to speculate. But I don't see any problem that is unsurmountable between them. If they have any disagreement at all, it will be normal human disagreement that human being will always have. But I don't think they have a relationship that people are trying to paint as if one of them want to kill the other one. I don't think so.
All right then, Mr. Oyalowo, you're from Oyo State in the Southwest. I would like to know, what are your expectations from your state and your zone in these elections?
I'll be going to Bomosha in the next few weeks to go and make sure that my word is delivered. And I can tell you, people have been working very hard in Oyo State. We have a lot of leaders there, including, but not limited to, our minister from Oyo State. He's done his own bit because we are from the same zone, that's Bomosha together. And then we have a lot of APC people also in Ibadan and other zones. I know our governorship candidate, Teslim, has been doing his best. Senator Teslim Folare and his team have been doing well. I can tell you unequivocally, as the Lord lives, Asiwaju will not only win Oyo State, he will win by a very great margin. So Oyo State is safe for Asiwaju.
All right then. It is also said that the Southwest people, especially Lagosians, don't usually come out in large numbers. Do you think we're going to witness something different this time?
Well, actually, the voting pattern in Lagos has not been as encouraging as it should be. I totally understand that. But you must also understand that for the first time, their own son is contesting. So it makes a lot of difference. So yes, we've not had the kind of turnout we expected in Lagos in the past few elections. However, this time around is going to be different. It is not a normal election for Lagosian. It's an election of Omawale. So when their own son is involved, I think we'll get a better turnout. And then from the little I've seen from some of my friends who are in the independent campaign council in Lagos, and from the activity of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his team, I think this time we're going to have a better turnout. And the turnout will not just be better, it will be for Asiwaju Bola and Tinubu. So we'll have a better number this time around than we've had in the previous elections.
All right. Finally, before we go, how exactly will your presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, reshape the Nigerian economy? Tell me why you're convinced that your candidate will prove to be the difference maker in this regard.
Okay, I read a story about how Asiwaju, as a treasurer in Mobi, did a magic for Mobi to finally have their headquarters in Lagos without breaking the bank. That man is a financial wizard. I also was old enough when he was governor, I was married. And I remember how the presidency of Obasanjo then made his life a living hell with holding Lagos State allocation for several years. And then I know how the man used his ingenuity, not only to run the state, but also to finally make Lagos self-sufficient. Today, Lagos is the only state, or maybe one of the 2 or 3 states, that may survive or will survive effortlessly without collecting any money from the center. That is who Asiwaju is. Right. And today, Nigeria needs a man who can raise funds, because Nigeria is in dire need of finance. Asiwaju has done it before. Asiwaju can do it again.
All right. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Ayobami Oyalowo, a political and development economist and also a member of the Public Affairs Committee of the APC Presidential Campaign Council on matters relating to the coming elections. Thank you very much for coming on Politics Tonight.
Thank you for having me on your program. Have a good night.
Thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Goodbye.